What is popping, everybody? What's good? What's good? It's your boy Six Deuce. You already know the rest. We up to a little late start, something of that matter. But I want to go ahead and say I want to
What
give
is
a big
poppin'?
shout out to JvcobGz. You know what I'm saying? Much love and respect to this young dope artist tapping in with us. I want to give a shout out to Rocket, for making this happen today. You go check out that live interview as well. Want to give a shout out to all the co-hosts. Y'all know the deal. I'll get more specific afterwards. Shout out to all of our partnerships, Pod Productions, Spill Records, SR Broadcast, Underground TV, Cali Media, all the above. So, again, go ahead, boss, introduce yourself to the people, your name, how you spell it, where to go find your music, where to go find you on platforms and things of that matter, and where you come from and where you grew up.
Yeah, my name JvcobGz. I'm from Springfield, Mass. I'm 15. Spell it JvcobGz. You can find my music all platforms. I got a video called "About a Bag" featuring Rocket, RKKT. Feel me? Yeah, that's all about me.
Sir, yes, sir. So, I'll go ahead and I'm go to my email for my questions. Before we get started, we're gonna play a song. I'm gonna start doing that now because I'm on a monetization, however you guys want to say it. I have a problem sometimes saying that word. But before, I was like sticking to these strict rules. So to cut to the chase, not playing music is one of them because YouTube be tripping whether you own it or not. But soon, once we get fully monetized, I'm gonna have to stop doing this. But I started again, and I'm sorry to all the artists when I first, and I was all strict to the rules, but it was because I was really just trying to get the channel up. Getting a little off subject here. Point is, I want to play some music. We've been doing that lately because I've been like, you know what? I could always do that later. I'm just trying to make sure that we get right, show the people loving their music where to find them. There's no better example of sharing this. Shout out JvcobGz. This is In My Mind featuring Lil Pap Tapping. We're gonna play it right now.
Of course, the label.
Sir.
Can you please just hear me out? No, all work management platforms.
That's the song, y'all.
Button.com is the one
You
that
had to
actually
add.
loves
It's an
you.
ad. My bad. Sorry.
But don't worry about it.
But go, go. Look, in my mind it started something big fun, kicked in the face, independent by my soul, I'm still across the break, thinking about how to get this check for my son. I make it something up to comments, I stay in best track, in my mind it started
I
something
do the
big
same
fun,
cover, y'all.
independent by my soul, I'm still across the break, thinking about how to get this check for my study foot. My nigga fucking up the comments, I stay in best track. Yeah.
Go, go, go. Let the niggas say they better. All the niggas flop. Hope they stop and not stop. Go. And those niggas trying to make the let go. But I'm not the story in my house. I've been played. Days I move by separate moves. Ain't no one else can act. That's right. Nigga down the street, I hugging down with the jam. A lot of battles in the spot, but yeah, shorty want to get in. All the Henny in the jam. Shout out Lil Pat, man.
Shot in the gut, I see the pound. Nigga, this I'm in the box, so we gon' see what that's about. Once you protected this way, I hit the ground, I want to drop. Pop a
Pop,
pop,
pop, go ahead. Gucci got you screaming for your pops.
sir.
I mean, that's a
Yes,
little bit of
sir.
me.
That was dope. Y'all go check that out, man. Well,
I'll
we
come.
don't get straight to it.
Still collecting
That
red.
was a dope track. I really like that one. I ain't gonna lie, I really like that one. That's dope, man. Y'all go check it out. Y'all
That's
go
my
check it
first
out.
album. First album. That's how it's coming.
What's the album? What's the album called? Actually, we're gonna get to that. I'm gonna ask that next. Actually, I'm gonna get to that next.
It's called
But
Out of This World.
Out of This World,
Out of
we
This
gonna
World.
I'm gonna get more into depth on that right now.
Got
But
you.
we're gonna start with these questions. So, number one,
Mm-hmm.
at just 15, what made you want to start making music?
Music always been a part of my family. You know, it started from my grandfather that passed away before I got to meet him. You know, he was a touring band. He was a touring band member. You know, and then eventually, you know, he played for artists like Rick James. You know, it was a regular event for artists like Rick James to come over. You know, talk about the music. He was a bass player. You know, he ended up forming his own band, the George Thomas Band.
Okay.
You know,
Hell yeah. Type shit, man. So that's actually dope. Man,
my brother's an artist too. You know,
okay.
he's been rapping, you know, since like 7 years. So, you know, ever since I was young, I was always seeing him. You know, his name Vizzy Never Dies. Check him out.
Shout to bro. Shout to your Graham. Shout Rick James, man. Hey, that's dope though. Now keep going, man. You go ahead, elaborate.
Got you. So, you know, my brother, he's been rapping, you know. I watched him, you know, do what he loves. I watched him express himself. Many forms of his art, you know. I watched him, you know, change his sound, elevate and evolve for years. So eventually, you know, you know, what got me started. Sorry about that. Noisy
Nah,
neighborhood.
you good, bro. That's regular, man. I'm sorry about even making you wait this long, man. I had a lot of things going
Nah, you
on.
straight, bro. Don't you worry about it. You know, that's one of the reasons why I started rapping. You know, because I was always seeing music. I've been around music all my life. But what really made me start rapping? And my son T Shotty, I got some songs with him too. You know, check out Fine Shit Anthem. Check out Wasting Time. Um, you know, T Shotty, I went to middle school with him. So, you know, I seen him rapping since he was like younger than me, since he was like before we were teenagers, he was doing that. So,
Okay.
you know, that made me want to start trying it, you know. Let me download BandLab. Let me try this out, you know. So, you know, that's what made me start, you know, playing around with it. Seeing what I like, seeing what I'm good at, you know. See Tobias in there right now. T Shotty out there, shout out him, you know,
Sure.
in the comments. You know, so I started making music with him. You know, some of it was throwaway, some of it was just for fun. But it wasn't until, you know, 2024, 2025, I really started to take it serious. You know, because before that, you know, I was just, you know, playing around. You know, I wasn't even finishing the songs. I didn't know how to mix. So, you know, it was really recently this year, last summer, I really started to put time and effort into my craft. So,
Okay. All right. Well, that leads me to my second question. With that all said, um, I'm sure that I'm sorry about that again, daughter.
you good.
Um, with growing up in Providence and Springfield, how was that for you? You know?
You know, with Providence, Rhode Island, I was born there, but I didn't really grow up here. I grew up here
Okay.
in Springfield, Mass.
Okay, type shit.
You know, it wasn't really much. You know, I wasn't really. I didn't have a tough. You know, I didn't come from. You know, I don't have a silver spoon in my mouth, but my mother and my family made sure that I didn't have a tough time growing up. You
Okay.
know, I was surrounded by family, surrounded by love. You know, even if it was just us. You know, it's, you know, I'm by family. I'm by loved ones. So
I like that you mentioned that, bro, because you wanna know why? Um, not too many people, especially at your age, I'm just keeping it a buck. And I ain't trying to say this like most people try to seem like you are very young, don't get me wrong.
I
But
am.
I know how some people try to make it and try to like, you know, try to little bro people. Nah, you know, that ain't my goal. But with your young age, boss, um, I respect that you see it that way because there's so many people older, let alone young, they're just ungrateful for their family, for their upbringing. They all, and this is what I try to say. People, I feel like these days are in a competition of who struggles more. And I always try to tell. This is my two
Mhm.
things I always say. I don't see what people are in a rush to struggle for because, man, last time I checked, the world could always be worse, and our situation may be somebody's paradise. Our problems may be somebody's dream. You know what I'm saying? So I said a little more than just two things, but you get my whole point. But my second golden one is that I always try to tell people it's like most of the people trying to stay in the streets. Hang on a second.
Mhm.
My co-host joined the session, but
Okay.
point is though, boss, is that in lesser words, it's like, cause here's the thing, bro. Some some person's life may seem like harsh, but I always try to tell people your struggle isn't less significant than anybody else's struggle. And this is what I mean by that is that just because somebody didn't go through what you went through doesn't mean that their struggle wasn't a struggle to them. But there are some people, that's back to what I'm saying, kind of want to get off subject, is that there are a lot of ungrateful people, bro, and they have a good life and they always try to make it seem like they don't. And I don't see why, because it's like a trend now to be it's cool to struggle. And it's like, bro, people trying to get out of it aren't trying to glorify that. Like I swear, like I hate to say it, bro. Every time I look at these interviews, and here's the thing, it probably is the truth. A lot of us live similar lives, right? Nobody's special. I don't mean like that. I mean as in like everybody's special in their own way, but to think that you're the only one going through those type of problems is crazy. You know what I mean? So I always see it's like a trend these days. If it's true, it's true. If it's not, then people always want to, it's like the same old story. And it's like, bro, it's not okay. Your story is your story. I'm just trying to get to the point where I feel like a lot of the time I don't believe these motherfuckers. I don't. I feel like a lot of it's just like a facade to like, oh,
Mhm.
I struggle too. Look at me. I had it hard. And then some of these people be showing me they struggle. But then again, that's back to what I'm saying.
Right.
That just may be somebody else's struggle and it wasn't mine. But the same way I thought my struggle was struggle. And somebody's like, bro, that wasn't nothing. You know? So
Mm.
I just feel like a lot of people need to be humble, be appreciative for who they have, is my, to sum up what I'm trying to say, and
Exactly.
be more self-aware. Stop always trying to play. I'm gonna just say this: a lot of people play victim, man. Your life ain't as
Right.
bad as you think it is, and respect to you and your struggle. Anybody in general, not you, boss, it's general, but a lot of people need to be real with themselves. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. I feel you exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. There's too many of that these days. Everybody trying to play the part of, uh, oh, I had it bad. I had it, man, bro. Had these people don't realize they got it blessed. And what I mean by that is we got to be grateful. If you woke up with both arms, both legs, you don't got some type of disease or cancer. If you good, if you know all the above, man. If you woke up and you straight and you good and you're not in a hospital, you're not in jail, bro. You already won. If
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you losing if you don't have all that, because hey, there's some people that got no arms, legs, and they doing more successful than people. You know, so I'm
Mhm.
just keeping it a buck, man. You know, don't let your ability or disability, because a disability, nah, you got disability to make bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
That's
Like.
right. So just move off subject, but we'll get to number 3. Your EP, not, or I don't know why it made it an EP. It's a album. Your first album, not I don't even know why.
It's EP. It's a
It's
6 song EP.
EP.
Yeah. Not of
Okay,
the earth. Yeah. Yeah.
your EP, not of this earth. I just want to make sure I get it right because we spoke, and I don't want to get the info wrong.
Right.
Not of this earth was your first project. What was the idea behind it?
The idea behind it, I think I made the fourth track on that. Either the fourth or the fifth track on that song. For my life, I made that song. It had always been an idea of mine to make a project. Because around that time I just started taking music seriously, so I wanted to establish myself as an artist. you know, make something that I could really sit back, listen to, and enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
So I made the first song for my life, and I had already had a song called Blackout featuring Trey Dudamos. Shout out Trey Dudamos. Um, so you know, when I made that song, I sent it to him. You know, so I was like, "Hey, you think you could get on this?" So he got on. He sent it back, and then you know, after I made that song, I made everything else. You know, and then I arranged it. I released it, and but the day before I released it, it was on Valentine's Day. Actually,
Okay.
you know, it was Valentine's Day. There was a talent show going on. So I performed one of the songs off of that project, Daydreaming.
Yeah.
That's like one of the only fully clean songs that I have, and you know it came organically. You know,
How did you feel performing that at your school in front of everybody? Like,
I was
how did that
I
feel?
was nervous, man. I was nervous. I was, you know, I was like, you know, frantically reading my lyrics, trying to memorize it. Um, I eventually ended. I forgot some of my lyrics too on stage. You know, my first show, I wasn't as loose. I wasn't energetic at all. You know, so people like that. You know, because you don't see that every day. You don't see somebody getting on stage performing their own song that they wrote and recorded and released. You know, so you know it's a new idea to them. At my school, I go to Duggan Academy. At my
Okay.
school, I'm one of the only artists over there. You know,
Okay.
so you know that's either gonna get love or it's gonna get hate. Cause you know it is what it is. And you know, I was a freshman, so first year of high school, you know, you don't know what to expect when you're doing it. And I kind of was like not peer pressured, but you know, like, "Hey, bro, you got a talent, you need to show it. You know, that's I wasn't too sure about it, but you know, I ended up put my pride to the side. I did it, and then that same day I released a EP. You know,
Well, I'm glad you did, bro. Because the reason why I'm gonna say this is because I asked that question, how did it feel? Because it takes a lot, and especially because I remember, man, it wasn't too long ago either. I remember even let alone middle school, let alone high school, just shit, even going for a class presentation. You know what I'm saying? Let alone going up in front of the school, and feeling like yo crap. Because exactly that, I feel like people are gonna be critical anyway. But I feel like more so as we're young, because people got a filter at all. But just I feel like
mm-hmm.
when we're younger, people are more like, hateful. I guess you can say that's just my word I can put for it. But I say that because you know how it is in school. People are judgmental. How it was back then, man. It's crazy. Well, and Jeff, for me back then, for you, it's kind of I don't know how to explain because you're 15. So are you still freshman, right?
No, I'm a sophomore this year. I turned 16.
Sophomore.
I turned
Okay,
16
so
this
you're
month.
about to be. Man, I'm sorry, bro. It's me respectfully, man. My high school was a blur of juvenile halls and placements and foster homes. So,
Right.
man. But point is that it takes a lot, man. So you didn't care what anybody was saying about you. You didn't care what they were, and you shouldn't have, man. If you did, I'm glad you did it in the end and still did it because it's like that's the first step, man. I was trying to tell there's no perfect time, but now, and it's like that's what the people around you are probably trying to tell you. It's like, man, yeah, you could do it later, but man, here's your chance, man. Do it, shake it off. Cause most people wouldn't do that or enter that. Man, bro, like I'm saying, I couldn't even do a class presentation, let alone go up in front of this damn school. I repeat again. So you did your thing, man. You proved everybody and to yourself that not that you needed to prove to anybody that you're not afraid to take those steps. You're not afraid to go and show
I feel
people
like
what.
I needed to prove it to myself more than anybody else, you know, because I could have just not did it and went out with my life, but if I didn't do it, I would have had more conflict with myself than anybody else, you know, because at the end of the day, it's me versus me, it's me versus me. So I had to do it, I had to get it out the way. Even if it was a bad performance, like I don't know anybody watching this live or you could actually go check it out. It's still on my page. I still got the footage. Um, but yeah, I'm just trying to, my goal right now, put myself out there because, I got the music part down. I could go and make a good song, but putting myself out there and, showing myself to the world. That's what I got to work on still, cause I'm still kind of nervous, So
Facts. So that leads me to my fifth question. Which song from the album is your favorite and why?
from Out of This World,
Yes, sir.
honestly, that's a tough question. Maybe I would maybe say Daydreaming 2. That song is called Watch Daydreaming 2. Because it's a short song, so it brings you in, and it's not like there's no repetitive parts on that song. So it's just me, speaking and getting how I feel out at that time. It went on a lot of topics, conflict within myself. I mentioned, like the sins of my father, like making up for mistakes that he may have done, to make, and then, making up for it to make myself proud and him proud, making my mother proud, because it's been it's been a tough time. It's been difficult for each and every one of us. No matter whatever we're going through, it was, you know, together or separate from each other.
Now, yeah, I speaking of that, how does your family and your friends feel about your music? Like, are they supportive? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's hit or miss. Like when I first started, a lot of people that I was around wasn't really as supportive, or tended to be supportive. You know, because I guess in their mind that's what friends are for. You got to support either way, whether the music is good or not. But um, with my friends, I started to see more support as my music got better. When I was first started, they're not gonna say, "Oh, it's hard," if it's hard, if it's not hard, and I
Yeah,
understand that. I take criticism. I take criticism pretty well, and I learn from my mistakes, and I learn from what people are feeling and what they're not feeling. With my family, I wasn't really showing my music to them as much. With my mother, I wasn't hiding it from them, but I was just working on it, you know, like focusing on it,
yeah,
just having that be something for me to work on.
yeah. You
You
saw
know,
it more something personal
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. You
you.
know, it's not like it was no secret. It's not like I was going out of my way to hide it from people, because they ended up finding out on their own eventually. I used to record and mix my music on my sister's PC.
Yeah,
When she was living with us, she ended up moving out. But I used to mix and record my music on her PC. And I think I ended up, it was in her room. I think I ended up leaving it open. And that's how she discovered it, because the BandLab tab was still open, or my SoundCloud, whatever it was, she ended up finding it, you
and check
know.
it out.
So, I ended up, I was just talking to her. She was like, she brought it up. I found your music. I was like, oh, you did? I didn't. And then she, out of respect for me, she said, "Oh, I didn't listen to it because I didn't know if you was ready for me to or not." Said, you
Yeah,
can listen to it, but it's not as good. I warn you right now. You know. And then my brother ended up finding it because his then girlfriend was scrolling on TikTok. I was posting my snippets of my music on TikTok and Instagram. Seeing how y'all liking this one. Trying to see what they like or what they don't. Um, his then girlfriend found it, and then showed it to my brother. He was saying, "Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good." He's a established artist, like I mentioned, in his own right. So he's gonna be excited that I started to find my way into making music. Uh, and he left. Hmm, what's going on?
I can still hear you, boss. I don't know why the screen cut. I still heard you that whole time.
Are you sure my fault? What was I saying? Yeah. So my
Uh,
brother, like
yeah,
I mentioned, Vizzy never dies. He's an established artist in his own right. So he's gonna get excited that his little brother is finding his way into started to make music.
type deal.
He was supportive, you know, critiquing, you know, like I said, I'm good at taking critiquing, you know, criticism.
Now you're humble about it, which I feel like a lot of artists should be, because it's like people got to understand the difference between hating and sometimes it be hating. I mean, just saying. But
Yeah.
then there is legit, like, people are just trying to help you be better. It's not always gonna come off as, "Hey, please, bro." Like, nah, I'm like, "Hey, nah, bro. They just sound better if you did this or this." You never know, bro. Never be too humble to take advice for some shit that might make your craft better. You know. So I'm gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and jump on. I mean, what are you saying, boss? I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, you good. Like I know the difference between hate and criticism, and to be honest, I take both with a grain of salt. You know, I take both into consideration. I try to learn from everything. I try to be a student of the game. You know, listening to older music and you know what's popping now. I listen to other artists, see what they doing. I collab a lot. I'm not afraid to do collaborations and features. You know, I feel like for a good amount of my career, I will be doing features for free, no matter how big I get. You know, because I'm always gonna be that small artist. You know, that's me right now. So you know, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm gonna see me in the future, into like maybe 5-10 years time, be able to help them out. That's why it's one of my goals to start my own label. I have a Instagram page. It's called Workhorse Records. Y'all go check that out. If y'all see me in my song, I'll be like Workhorse the label. You know, it's not a official label yet. It's a collective, but
Go ahead and shout it out, man. If you want, go ahead.
yeah. Workhorse the label. Workhorse Records. Shout out Mulatto Records. You know, if you know you tune in with Rocket, so you know you'll see Mulatto Records on his page a lot too. Um, yeah, no, that's what it is.
Okay, I want to go ahead and say, and you guys always stay tuned for a part two. We've deducted interviews down to 30 minutes, and I want to go ahead and say for the last 5 minutes, or actually a couple 3 minutes here, especially because I got to get back to my daughter, and I apologize about that. I want to give a big
Word.
shout out to you, man. Shout out JvcobGz. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's rocking with you. Make sure you guys go tap in with them. I respect everything you're doing, boss, and don't stop. Don't stop for nobody. I always try to tell people that. So thank you for coming on, and go ahead and for the last couple minutes shout out what you want to shout out. Talk about a couple projects you got coming out. I always give people that same option, repeat that same thing after every interview, so you can use your last couple of minutes to give your shout out to your people, all that good stuff, and give any good info you feel like you want to get to the people, or even a message. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I want to say shout out to Shotty. You know, main reason I started this rap. And shout out Rocket, RKKT, Kiteo. You know, I got tuned in to him with him recently. You know, but he still made a big impact. You know, we've been working. You know, no pro right now. I don't have any projects on the way, but you know, I always am recording. I always am taking ideas, doing features. So if y'all want to hit me up, you know, for features, I will do it. I will work with you. You know, um, shout out Trey Do the Most. He one of the first artists I really started working with. You know, my first like songs that I did with him were Black. That was with him. So you know, when I released that, that made an impact and started to have a couple of more artists, you know, start doing their thing. Like TJ the Don, shout out TJ the Don. I got some songs with him called like Noir. I've been on his album, called The Don. Um, yeah, man. Follow me on Instagram too. JvcobGz
Yeah.
official.
Nah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, yeah, man, I want to go ahead and say it was dope having you on here. We're for sure gonna have you back for a part two. I know tomorrow is Rockets part two. I just got a lot going on, but if you guys didn't get enough info, that's what we need you to do in part two. You know, if you guys want to ask questions, I need you to come and ask those questions. I want to give a big shout out to all 6 to 10 people that were in here that were showing love, and it's nothing but respect. And if you haven't and you're new, please hit that subscribe button for me. It only takes 2 seconds. Thank you. If you need a live interview yourself, you tap in with us. Remember, it ain't just music artists. We want business owners. We want comedians. We need dancers. We need everybody. Everybody, all the above. Come through, tap in. So tell your people that ain't just music artists, but we always take a music artist. You already know what it is. We cover
I
music,
got you.
media, and more here at SR Broadcast. Shout out JvcobGz, Rocky, Tubius Jones. I see. I don't know if I said that right. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to sound stuff out. I ain't the best. Shout fucking lovely. Make sure y'all go follow her. Go follow everybody. Shout out To Death, Cali Media. But go follow JvcobGz. Go follow SR Broadcast on Instagram at SR_broadcast. If you need more info, go check out all the past live interviews. Go check out the upcoming ones. You guys stay tuned. It's your boy Six Deuce at Super Righteous Broadcast. Shout all the co-hosts, David Pistols, Lil Tank, Clumsy, Rome, Flacco PTR, Trips, ODG. I think I already said David Pistol, but shout Cali Media, SR Broadcast, Pod Production, Spill Records, everybody that's partnered up with us. Nothing but respect, and make sure you go tap in with JvcobGz new collective and stay tuned for more. We're gonna get you guys right. Thank you guys for showing him love, and you guys do me a bigger favor, go check out his music and go check him out on Instagram as well. All respect.
Word.
Sir, man, have a blessed night, bro. I'm gonna go get this little hooligan to sleep. I love her.
Yeah.
Bet that, man. Stay blessed. Y'all stay blessed. Have a great night.
Peace.